California hunter vanishes into the woods on a solo trip, only to end up 30 feet in a tree fighting for his life. Not from a bear, not from a mountain lion, but a group of glowing-eyed robotic creatures from another planet. And what followed might be the strangest siege in UFO history. This is the 1964 Cisco Grove Encounter, one of the most aggressive true alien reports ever filed in the U.S. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Mostly True Alien Stories.
They're coming.
UFO sightings. Many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects.
Scientists in Mexico pulling back the curtain. We need to save ourselves.
Welcome back to Mostly True Alien Stories, where we dive into true reports of alien encounters made in history and decide just how real they might be. I'm Neal Girandola, joined as always by the one and only Andrew Triana, who is not Italian. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Neal. How are you?
People think you're Italian. They're not. You're not.
I'm not
Are you?
Italian. I'm Spanish. 100% Spanish, yeah.
Prove it.
Triana is a town outside of Sevilla in Spain.
By the way, Sevilla is my favorite place on earth.
Really?
Yes. Spain is where I want to end up, in Sevilla. Yeah. So I'll go visit your family. All right. Today's report is one that takes us into the dense woods of the Tahoe National Forest in 1964, where a solo hunter claims to have spent the night fending off robot-like beings with gas, glowing eyes, and some seriously weird intentions. As we do in every episode, I'm going to walk us through a full report as it was originally documented. Then Andrew and I will weigh in on whether this was a mostly true alien story or not. All right, let's get into it. It's the Cisco Grove Encounter. The witness in this case, his name is Donald Shrum, so we can call this the Shrum Scrum, if you'd like. Takes place in Cisco Grove, California on September 4th, 1964. Donald Shrum is 26 years old. He's a welder and painter for Aerojet General Corporation at the time. He embarked on a bow hunting trip in the Tahoe National Forest near Cisco Grove, California with his friends Vincent Alvarez and Tim Trueblood. During the hunt, Shrum became separated from his companions as night approached, and recognizing the dangers of predators in the area, he decided to spend the night in a tree for safety. Around 9 p.m., Shrum observes a bright light in the sky, initially believing it to be a rescue helicopter. So he descends from the tree and lit signal fires to attract attention. However, the light approached silently and stopped approximately 50 yards from his location, according to the report, and revealing itself as an unidentified craft that approached him. Alarmed, Shrum climbs back into the tree.
Because that's where you go. You climb into a tree if it's a UFO, right? Especially at the same level.
That's right. So shortly thereafter, three beings approached, two humanoid figures in silvery suits and a robot-like entity with glowing red eyes. The robot emitted a white vapor that rendered Shrum unconscious. And upon regaining consciousness, he defended himself by throwing burning clothing and shooting arrows, one of which struck the robot, producing a spark. Now, the beings, they retreated, but returned multiple times throughout the night, and they employed similar tactics all night long at Shrum. So as dawn approached, the entities finally depart. Shrum was found by his friends, still in the tree and barely conscious, and I am imagining naked. Vincent Alvarez corroborated, who was his hunting partner. He corroborated seeing these strange lights that night. He didn't say that he saw the aliens. But the incident was investigated by various UFO researchers, including the Aerial Phenomenon Research Organization, APRO, and the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON. But no definitive explanation was found. So that's the story. It's Donald Shrum. He's alone in the woods, climbing a tree to escape metallic humanoids and a red-eyed robot spraying knockout gas at him. Andrew, what's your take? Did we miss anything? Is there any part of this that sounds mostly true to you? Let's get in.
Okay, so there's a couple things. So they went bow hunting in the National Forest, and the reason why they couldn't take rifles is because you're not allowed to take a rifle into the National Forest. So they went bow hunting. Now,
hunting season, there's certain times of season you can bring a gun, certain times you can bring a bow. So that's bow hunting.
It's bow season, but it's also National Forest, so you're not allowed to actually bring a firearm into. You have
in
to
the
use
National
a bow.
Forest.
Yeah, in the National Forest.
Otherwise, he probably would have shot them.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to guess. He would have shot. I would have shot him if they're releasing this gas on me.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, sure.
So,
I mean, okay, we'll get into it. We'll get into
okay,
it because
we're gonna
I
get
got
into it.
questions.
Okay. So here's the thing to know about him. He was not a believer of UFOs. He did not believe in extraterrestrial existence. He
Okay.
didn't believe in UFOs. He didn't believe in any of
Okay.
that.
Okay,
Remember
good.
the year's 1964, right? So
Yep.
sci-fi is really kind of starting to happen, right?
Mhm,
It's really like starting to pick up and people are getting excited about it.
Yeah,
And
right.
all that fun
Right.
stuff. Okay.
We're not even into the meat of UFO encounters in the 70s. We're early,
Right.
64.
We're earlys. Okay. So
Yeah. Okay.
it was quiet. He said it was quiet, unbelievably quiet. He said when the ship appeared to him, he said the beings got out. At first they didn't. At first there was nothing. He didn't see anything. Right. So you talked about him climbing down, and he said he lit signal fires. Like, how many fires did he have set up? How was he?
Wait. You're jumping ahead for me for one second. I got a question, and maybe you don't know the answer to this. But
Okay.
how did he end up getting separated from his
Okay.
hunting
Okay.
partners? Because he goes. Generally, hunters stick together, and they
do.
they got perches, they got all kinds of stuff. They stay
Yeah.
together so they don't shoot arrows into each other's hearts.
Right.
And all this stuff. So they usually stick together, especially in a dense forest like that.
Right.
How did he get lost?
Okay, well, they all decided that they would cover a certain area themselves. Okay, they were gonna go and then meet back at camp. But he got distracted. He lost sense of where he was. They were supposed to stay within shouting distance of each other, and they didn't stay within shouting distance of each other. So they were like, God!
Which, by the way, I don't know if you've ever gone forest washing, I call it. I'm not a hunter, but I love to go into dense forests and go for a walk and just, take in the massiveness of a forest.
Right.
You could very easily get separated and lost from someone, especially in a national forest such as that.
And there's nothing for the echo to happen. So literally your voice just keeps going. Nobody hears it.
So he gets separated from them. Okay, that's explainable. That's good. Okay, they lose
It's
him.
Explainable. It's
But
late.
He's gone. This is
he's
a
like
12-hour
gone from
ordeal.
Yeah, he's gone. It's now midnight, we'll say. He's trying to find his way back. He got lost. I guess he didn't have a flashlight. He didn't have a compass. Maybe the other guys didn't light signal fires for him to make his way back to camp.
But that's the other thing. Like, he could light a fire.
Well, maybe that would attract animals.
A fire?
I don't know.
Food attract them?
Yes.
Doesn't
he is
fire
food.
keep them away? In all the movies, the people are lighting fire to wave at the animals and they run.
Right. Or he is the food, and he thought smoke, fire, food, not good.
Right.
Get up in the tree.
We'll get into whether Shrum was smart. I mean, did work at a
Well, he was a welder.
jet.
Now, here's something. Since you're
welder.
talking about him, he was a welder, and he actually welded on cruise missiles.
He's a young guy too. Let's not forget, he's 26, I think.
They also said he was very good at his job.
Welders are artists.
Yeah, they
have
are.
that creative mind. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So he set up these signal fires right down below in case the helicopter or somebody was going to come.
He's sitting
below
at.
the tree. So the tree, the reason why he was able to climb this tree too is that it was on the side of a mountain, like on the side of this hill. So he was able to go up the hill and get up on the tree and then climb higher. But he could only climb so high because he said the branches that were higher were soft and he would just fall out of the tree.
Okay. Yeah.
So he gets up in the tree. This is the other thing he did. He takes his belt and he ties his belt around himself and the branch of the tree. So if he falls asleep, he won't fall out and kill himself.
You know what?
Right.
That's a pro hunter move right there. That's
Okay,
a pro survivalist hunter move. I mean, other than the fact that he got lost.
Right. He's not a tracker.
Friends.
Remember, he's not a tracker. He's a hunter.
Pretty savvy to use your belt to tie yourself up there. That's pretty good.
Right.
I like.
I mean, I do that all the time. I tie myself to chairs.
Your wife finds you out in the backyard, belted to your own
clothesline.
Look, honey, I fell asleep and didn't fall.
I didn't fall. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Cool. All right, so now he gets separated. He senses that listen, it might be a long night. I better protect myself till morning. There's no sense trying to find these guys late at night in the dark. Yep. I'm gonna climb this tree. He sees this thing coming, and he
gets up in the tree. He's there for a little bit. Then he sees the spotlight.
Yeah,
and the spotlight gets closer and closer, and stops about 50 yards away. Right. He comes down out of the tree. He lights the signal fires.
Okay.
He starts like, "Hey, it's me, Don. Hi." Yeah. Then he realizes there's no sound, so it's not a helicopter. It's something else. I better get back up in the tree and strap myself in because it's going to
Yeah,
be
I wonder why.
long
Like
night.
I wonder if he thought
Why he didn't run, take a
no,
torch
but
and run.
not run. But there was no immediate threat right then and there. What you see something coming, you can't identify it. It is coming from the air. What made him scared about that?
So maybe it's his hunter sense.
His instincts.
Yeah, his instincts.
Yeah,
I love it.
All
He
right,
felt it.
all right. So he
felt
climbs back up the tree.
Climbs back up in the tree. Then he starts hearing noise in the woods around him, and then out comes
What
two
was the
aliens.
noise? What was the
Like-
noise?
The trees rustling.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Got it? You with
Now I
me?
get the picture. Yeah.
Close
now
your
I get
eyes
the
if you
picture,
can't. You can imagine that's the sound of
Okay.
the trees
Yeah.
rustling. I should have got
Okay.
some leaves or something and crushed them.
No, it's all right. I get it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you did a great
Yeah,
job.
I hope the audience gets it because that'll be even better.
They probably logged out by now.
Yeah, they started like off.
Yeah. Click. Okay.
So,
yeah. So go ahead.
he says he sees two beings, 4 or
Mhm.
5 feet tall, in silver suits,
Okay.
wearing goggles,
5 feet tall.
4 to 5 feet tall. Okay,
I mean, I could kick their ass.
wearing goggles, right?
Goggles.
And he says they're scanning. It's like
but
they're
he only
scanning.
sees 2 of them.
Only sees 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
He said then they started making sounds to each other that sounded like an owl. Ooh, 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 ooh. Then there was like ooh, 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 ooh.
Interesting.
After that, the robot came.
he brought
then
out
they
their
started-
robot buddy?
They started to hoot at the robot. And then the robot starts scanning. They're still scanning. And he locks eyes with the freaking robot. And the robot starts making his way over to him
while he's up in the tree.
while he's up in the tree.
Did
Okay.
the robot walk in or float in?
He didn't say whether it was like strolling.
I'm imagining though, just
It's like
from
hovering.
from the report. No, but
Right.
from the report, I can't imagine that they were able to fly, because why not just fly up to the tree and just
Okay.
grab
Well, we'll get to that. We'll
All
get
right,
to
go
that.
ahead. All right.
Okay. So the robot comes over. It sees Don in the tree. It takes its hand and lowers its jaw. And this white mist comes out. And
The robot's down at the base of the tree.
yeah, but it's enough fog stuff comes out of him to knock Don out. Okay. Don gets knocked out. He passes out.
He rebelted himself back in.
Yeah, he had already rebelted himself. He was already rebelted in, restrapped.
Okay.
whatever
That
you-
doesn't make sense to me. Like, he sees these things. He sees this ship coming. He quickly climbs up the tree, but ties himself back into the
Right.
tree,
Well, it gets better.
which isn't a great way in case he has to get away.
Yeah, it's not
It's
smart.
not.
Okay,
It's not smart. Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
but he did
Sure.
that in case they gassed him and he was going to pass out and fall out of the tree, right?
Yeah,
so
but he
passed
didn't know
out.
they were going to gas him.
Maybe he had his hunter instinct came in. They're going to gas. me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm speaking too soon. Go ahead.
Okay. So he wakes up. He's nauseous. He looks down. He sees the 2 aliens and he vomits on them. Right?
Did he say how long he was out, or did he not know?
Doesn't
how
know.
much time?
He has no idea of the
It's
time.
still
but-
dark. It's still night.
Still dark, and it wasn't enough time for them to get up the tree to get him, but it was enough time for him to vomit on them, right?
He threw
So-
up on.
Vomits on them. Then the robot,
Did he like try to aim it at them?
I don't know, he just said he woke up and he felt really nauseous and he looked down and he vomited, and when he looked down, he saw that the 2 beings were below him. That's what he said.
God, those beings must have been like, what the fuck, Shrum?
Right? So he sees the robot open its jaw again.
Oh,
He
God.
takes his bow and arrow, and he shoots.
All right, so the robot's opening his mouth to spray him again.
To spray him again, he
quickly
shoots-
grabs his bow and arrow.
Hits the robot right in the center of the chest. Sparks fly. The robot gets knocked back. Now think about this though. At that close of distance, a 60-pound bow is like shooting him with a bullet. It's like shooting him with a gun. It's that
Okay.
powerful. Okay. The robot
Did he
falls
say
back.
how high up in the tree he is?
He was about 8 feet, high enough to where they couldn't reach him. They couldn't jump up and get him.
Only 8 feet?
Yeah, 8 to 10 feet. He's guessing.
I mean,
High enough to where if
a bear is 10 feet.
Well,
A bear can get up to 10 feet. This guy didn't really go up high enough. Okay, go ahead. So he was going to get killed by a bear eventually.
eventually,
If
right,
the aliens didn't show up.
something was going to kill him, and the aliens were
feet.
like, "We're going to
Yeah.
gas all those bears that are
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We're going to get him."
Because
Right? We're gonna get him.
Shrum's only 7.5 feet high right now. So we can get him. All right, so go ahead.
So he shoots the arrow, knocks the thing back. It gets up. It gasses him again. He passes out. He
Again.
wakes up again, shoots it with another arrow. right? And this keeps going on and on and on, shooting the thing with arrows until he's out of arrows.
Were the other two aliens just like
Standing there,
laughing? Come on,
watching.
robot!
No, they were
Robot!
going. They were like, ooh, 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 ooh. That's what they were saying.
Robot, you got hit again by him.
Okay.
You suck.
So he's out of arrows, right?
Yeah.
But they keep coming at him.
Wait, he only had 4 arrows?
I don't know. His quill was empty. That's all he said. He never said how many arrows he brought with him. I would have had at least 12 with me, right? I think 12 is in a quill.
I don't know what. There might be a law against the amount of arrows you can bring on a hunting, too. There might be a rule about that. I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Wow. Okay. So you have 12 chances to kill something. And if you miss all 12 times, you got to go.
Because you're supposed to go get those arrows and shoot again. Otherwise, you could just.
Well, you can only carry so much. Think about it. You got a backpack, you got your roll of arrows, you got your bow, you got all this stuff. Okay. So out of arrows, and he starts taking his clothes off and he jumps down, I guess. No, sorry. He has the fires are still burning. He has matches. He starts lighting.
Wait. He takes his clothes off?
Starts taking his clothes off to throw fire at the aliens and the robot.
This is his next brilliant idea, is that I'm only going to go 7.5 feet up in this fucking tree.
Right.
Just so bears don't get me and I don't get eaten by lions and shit. But aliens show up and they're 4 feet tall. So, okay, you're good.
Well, you think about it.
He belts himself to the tree. He shoots arrows, all his arrows, empties his whole fucking thing out. And then now he's like, I know what I'll do next. I'm going to take my clothes off.
And throw fire clothing at them.
Light my clothes on fire. Have you ever tried to light your clothes on fire?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Wouldn't he be nervous? Like,
well, I mean, back then it's not a lighter.
My socks are wet.
It's not a lighter. It's back then 64. He's striking a match in
But
September,
if he had water, he might have had
up
waterproof matches, which actually burn longer than a regular match.
I mean, you're sure you can defend him all you want, but to do that and then hold your shirt and try to light it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the only thing that he had left on after lighting everything on fire, he kept thinking to himself, "I've just got to make it to sunrise. If I can make it to sunrise,
now because it gets cold at night."
Yeah.
And now you have no clothes.
He started thinking about that too. Okay.
He did.
So they lights his clothes on fire. He throws him. He only has left on his shirt and pants. That's it. The robot breathes the gas again. As he's breathing the gas, Don realizes that the sun is starting to come up. He passes out. And when he comes to, they're gone.
Wait, but did he pass out because of the gas?
Yeah, the gas. They gassed him again. So this gas
passes out.
First of all, this gas only lasts, it sounds like it only lasts for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, the aliens need to work on that.
Seriously.
The robot.
They're like,
yeah, the robot gas is not. Yeah. You're out like for a second and a half, and then you just throw up, and then it's over.
So they've got this robot that breathes a fog vapor. They're 4 feet tall aliens that sound like owls wearing goggles. Right? In silver outfits and hoods, silver outfits, and they're wearing hoods, and they're going, ooh, 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 to each other. I think so. Okay. So his friends find him in the morning.
You know what, though? I mean, I'm obviously not making my decision yet, but you can't make this shit up.
No, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right?
So
okay.
Yep.
So after that, his friends come, they find him. Its sun is up.
No, his friends find him.
They find him and they're like, Don. He's like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened. And then the one friend says, yeah, I saw the lights. They get home.
Right.
He tells us
Alvarez is the guy that saw the
Alvarez.
Lights. Right.
All right. So
his
Alvarez,
other buddy did not.
No.
Because
he was walking someplace else.
The funny thing is those two didn't get lost. They were together.
Yeah.
Shrum was off on his own. Okay.
Shrum? Yeah. Did you say shrooms?
Shrum. Well, we're getting there. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so he gets back. He tells his wife. He tells his family. He tells his mother-in-law. And his mother-in-law happens to know an astronomy professor at a local college.
Okay.
So she sets up an appointment. He goes and he talks to the guy. And the guy goes, hey, man, I've got contacts with people in the Air Force.
Oh, wait.
I'm going to set up.
So Shrum goes to this astronomer professor who now is going to introduce him to people in the Air Force.
People in the Air Force, right.
To tell them this story.
The story. So the professor tells the story to the Air Force people, and the Air Force people agree to meet Shrum. And they agree to meet him at this rental home that nobody lives in, like by itself. The house is like,
The Air Force people
The Air Force
have
people say,
arranged.
right, meet us at 1501 Mulberry Street.
Okay. They're like, don't come to our Air Force
Don't come
base.
to the Air Force
Don't meet
base.
at a diner.
No,
We're going to go to
meet at
this rental house.
Right. So
in
he
the middle
goes
of
to the
nowhere.
house and he says it's like a rental house. There's nothing in the house. They open the door. He comes in. There's only a table and 3 chairs, and there's 2 Air Force guys there, right?
Okay.
They bring out a recorder and they start asking him questions about what happened. Tell us what happened. And he's like, well, I was up in the tree and I belted myself in. He tells the whole story.
7.5 feet up in a tree. Yep.
And after a little bit of time, the interrogation goes from pleasant to hostile.
Why?
They start going at him like, you're lying to us. This isn't true. This could not have happened. Maybe it was Japanese soldiers that did this to you. Maybe it was a prank by your friends.
They actually said, did you just make up the Japanese soldier?
No,
comment?
that was a story that I read.
Who relayed this story? Shrum did?
Shrum did, yeah.
But was there any confirmation that he actually met with the Air Force?
No confirmation. But what he says is that later he went back to the same area in the woods and it had been taped off.
Wait, where he said the incident
Where
happened?
he said the incident happened.
Well, how would anybody know where the incident happened unless he showed them where the incident happened?
He told them. I guess he pointed on a map. See, there's a lot of holes in this story.
He points on a map, but he got lost in the fucking woods. But he can find it on a map.
Well, he is now because they told him where it was. When his friends found him, they're like, "God, you were here. How the hell did you get here?"
Okay,
he's like, "Oh, it must have been the vapor."
Okay.
You know, I'm just trying to fill in gaps. I know,
and I appreciate it. I just so there was no confirmation.
No.
By anybody else that he actually met with these Air Force people. Did anybody go with him for this?
Nobody
meeting?
went with him. He went by himself. Yeah.
And so
could you imagine? Would you do that? You'd come up to a house and these guys are like, "Hey, yeah, let's talk in this house." No, thanks.
I wouldn't go by myself.
Right. I would have brought.
You know, I also probably would be pretty shooken up from this ordeal. So I would definitely get some help about this.
Yeah.
Because you know, you had 2 aliens and a robot that was trying to gas you and get you down from a tree.
Right.
That to me would be a lot of damage mentally.
Right. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So
is there anything that happens to me all, dude? That happens to me all the time.
The 2 aliens and a robot. Sounds like a party, dude.
Sounds like a joke. 2 aliens and a robot walk into a bar. They ask the bartender.
Is there any information about him getting help? Suffering from anything, getting hypnotized?
Yes. Yeah. So later on, they says he said he developed PTSD from this whole incident and bad dreams. Okay. He started to think he was crazy, is what he said. He lost his job as a welder and he went bankrupt because nobody would hire him. So it's sad.
Nobody would hire him, but it couldn't have been from the alien incident. I mean,
no, it's probably because he's like
maybe had other
lighting
issues.
his torch, right?
Yeah.
My clothes.
Yeah.
Okay. So fast forward 14 years later.
Okay.
He gets a call from a TV show.
1982?
Yep. In the 80s. He gets a call from an NBC TV show.
Okay.
And they want to talk to him. That's all he did until the mid 2000s. He started talking about the incident at events. And in 2011, a book was published called.
Oh, wait a minute. What did the TV show? The TV show was just.
They just talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I was in the woods, and the aliens came."
This is the thing that sparked him to go out on this talking tour about.
Kind of, but it really didn't, because that was the 80s, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then he didn't do anything again until 2000s. Then he felt like, I can talk about it now.
Okay.
I'm old enough. I've saved enough money.
Mm-hmm. Did the story change?
No, his story never changed. His story never changed. He never made any money off of this, too, by the way.
Okay.
He kept the same story for over 50 years. Somebody else wrote the book. The book was published in 2011 and is called Aliens in the Forest.
Wait, who was the person that wrote the book?
There was 2 authors. I didn't grab their names, but it wasn't him.
Is Shrum still alive?
I don't know if he is or not. It's a good question.
A better title for that should have been the Shrum Scrum. The Shrum Alien Scrum.
2 aliens and a robot. That would have been a better title.
That would have been too.
Like, what was that? That show on CBS, 2 gals in a pizza place or something, wasn't it?
No, that's a movie. That's a different movie.
No, it was on CBS. No, I'm serious.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
No idea.
You might remember it as
is there
something
anything else that you wanted to add that you think would make my decision either way?
Okay, so I am going to add this. Okay, so he described the robot as a typical sci-fi robot that he would have seen in a comic book or seen in a movie at that time, right? The
Like
aliens
a
in silver
typical,
suits.
very square robot.
It was a very, I mean, if we looked at it today, it would look like the Iron Giant is what I would imagine. Just not that big, but 6 feet tall, right? Instead of 12 feet or 15 feet, however.
So wait, the
20 feet.
robot was 6 feet tall, you think?
Yeah, the robot was 6 feet tall.
But
Yeah.
the alien buddies were 4 feet.
Were 4 and 5 feet tall. Yeah, 4 or 5 feet tall.
And he was 7.5 feet up in a tree, and they couldn't get him down.
Right. Okay. So the other thing too is that these are aliens, right? That flew here, but they weren't smart enough to figure out how to get him out of that tree.
I mean, throw a rock at him.
Something. Have the robot shake the tree, climb up on the hill.
No, or just reach up and grab his leg.
Or stand on your shoulders. Stand up, get up on top of the robot. Then they would have been 10 feet tall. They could have made
I'm sure they had a ladder in the UFO.
Why didn't they ask the robot to change his shape? Robot, change shape to ladder.
Robot, use your extended arm. Use the arm that extension.
Dang it, we didn't bring that robot with us. We brought us the C-14.
That's the old Terminator. They couldn't do that.
I'll get you. No, come on,
Arnold
man.
Here.
Always Arnold. Always Arnold.
All right. So what else? What else? Anything else? Because why don't we start weighing in?
Oh, well, do we want to really call it knockout gas? He called it knockout gas. Was it really knockout gas?
I think it should be called 30-second sleep throw up gas.
I think
something along those lines.
I'm surprised he didn't shit his pants. I probably would have shit. I would have shit my pants. Think about it. You're up in the tree. There's aliens. They're spraying you with gas. You're nauseous. You vomit. Chances are you would have shit your pants too. And that's why he couldn't burn his underwear.
Yeah, I would have thrown the shit at them because then that would have revealed the truth. Because if you're like the Air Force and you're not an alien, you're just dressed like this and you're out there, just trying to create disinformation or create, this story, and you're really humans and you get hit with shit, you'd be like, all right, fuck this, dude. It's us.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, we're actually people. We're just people.
I'm gonna weigh in.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's weigh in. What do you think, Andrew? Do you think this is a mostly true alien story or not?
I think it's not. I think he was high on freaking shrooms. He got lost. His other friend was high on shrooms, and the third friend chose not to take any because somebody had to be sober, so they were responsible. One designated driver of the 3, and he gets up in the tree, and he just starts losing his freaking mind. The crazy thing too is that he lit the signal fires when he saw that the aliens, that it was like not a helicopter. He put the fires out.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And how did he have the wherewithal to set up small signal fires? What did it spell? SOS? Help?
Yeah, I
Bear,
don't know.
Come here.
So you're saying it's not a mostly true alien story, that Shrum was on shrooms and Shrum had a trip. Yeah,
I really wanted this because when I started digging into this, I was like, man, this is cool. But it's a great story. Think about it. The robot goes, why did the robot have to use his hand to open his jaw?
Yeah, it's a weird explanation.
I mean, why didn't he just go?
Yeah. All right.
I think knockout gas, not knockout gas.
No, it's 30-second sleep throw.
30-second sleep vomit gas.
All right. So you say it's not a mostly true alien story. I'm going to agree with you. I think they were out there he was tripping on peyote. I just think he was high as balls. I don't think this is a mostly true alien story at all.
He threw up on them.
Yeah, right. I mean, like several times.
Yeah, and he was like, oh yeah, the aliens.
Yeah, it's just bizarre to me. I think he was actually tripping balls and it was his friends, and they were trying to get him down from the tree, and they couldn't. And then he started unloading his arrows at them, shit like that. They probably ran away because he was losing his shit.
And then they come back and be like, hey,
yeah,
it's me.
Trying to get him down again.
God,
it's okay.
me.
And he's still freaking out.
No, it's not. Yeah.
You know what? I love this. I do love the imagination of this story. I think it's pretty fun with a robot and 2 aliens. I've never heard a story of that nature before.
No.
That's the other thing. So this is not a mostly true alien story. You say it's not a mostly true alien story. We both agree on what actually happened. Did MUFON they
No,
didn't.
they didn't.
acknowledge
They
it.
didn't agree with it. They didn't believe it.
Yeah, they don't believe it either. Yeah, so these guys didn't agree with it. All right, we've made our calls. What about you guys? What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump was genuinely targeted by something beyond this world, or was it a fear-fueled, drug-induced misinterpretation of a long night in the forest? You gotta let us know in the comments. And if you've heard other angles or theories on this Cisco Grove case of the alien, the two robots, please send them our way. We always want to hear from you guys. And be sure to follow, subscribe, share this episode. And don't forget to check out our Alien News and Entertainment, which is every Friday, and our past and future episodes of True Reports, like the one we just told today, that comes out every Wednesday. Until then, be kind to the aliens when they get here. Andrew, great job. See you on the next one.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
UFO sightings. Many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects.
Scientists in Mexico pulling back the curtain